The government has begun distributing $18,000 each to 300 Asian women who were forced into sexual service by the Japanese Imperial Army during World War II. The Korean comfort women, as they were euphemistically called, are refusing to accept the money. Naeun Shin tells us more.
Shim Mi-ja remembers the pain of being a comfort woman as she looks at photos of surviving victims at an exhibit by Japanese photojournalist Ito Takashi. Miss Shim was kidnapped by Japanese soldiers in 1950 and taken to Japan, where she was forced to provide sex to the troops. She was just 15 years old. Shim Mi-ja and other former comfort women refused to accept money from the private fund. Instead, they're demanding direct compensation from the Japanese government and an admission of responsibility for war crimes committed against women. She says the Japanese government is using the private fund to avoid responsibility, and they continue to deny kidnapping young girls. We're not prostitutes to be paid off, she says. Tokyo denied the Imperial Army's involvement in the system of forced sexual service until 1992, when documents implicating the military were discovered. Last year, the Japanese government established the private fund in response to demands for compensation. But the victims and their supporters aren't satisfied with money. They say the comfort woman issue should be part of the national history curriculum, so such a thing can never happen again. He says even now, most Japanese people don't realize they were the aggressors. He says he wants to be a voice for the victims and tell people what happened. Every Wednesday for the past 5 years, former comfort women have protested in front of the Japanese embassy, and they say they will continue to do so until their demands for reparations are met by the Japanese government. Naeun Shin, YTN Seoul.
8 Japanese Christian leaders attended the weekly rally by former comfort women to apologize to the victims. Their apology was rebuffed by the women, who said they would only accept a sincere and formal apology from the Japanese government. 3 days of pro-unification